The World Cup 2018 is still on, and here on your World Cup special, we'll bring in every action to you. We're bringing every decision taken in the World Cup to you. And over the weekend, we saw whole lot of entertainment-filled World Cup where we saw Nigeria beating Iceland 2-0. And wow, the reaction from the Nigerian fans was just amazing. Some were even chanting that, you know, over the bar when the Iceland got the penalty against Nigeria. And truly, God listened to them and they missed that penalty. We also saw how Senegal drew 2-2 against Japan. Now to join me to talk about everything that happened over the weekend and everything that is happening in Russia, it's Simeon. How are you doing, sir?
I'm fine.
How was your weekend?
My weekend is fine.
Tell me about your weekend in football.
My weekend in football is full of surprises anyway. So there are some matches that we expect them to win with a lot of margin that they did not win, but there are some matches whereby we did not expect them to win and they win the match. So
no, let's talk about the reaction of the Nigerians when Nigeria beat Iceland. Because, like you say, we saw the videos where people were shouting, people coming out of their houses. I mean, it is like Nigeria has never experienced anything like this in years.
yeah, if you look at Nigerian as a whole, as a fans, football is one of the things that we are passionate about. So, and when our team is winning, we see excited about it. And when they are losing as well, we know how we feel about it because it's like some part of us is gone already. So, I understand the reaction from the fans. At least this is the first one, this World Cup, and experienced team. So
yeah.
Different in the second match compared to the first one. So I think
because they were beaten by Nigeria, so their hopes were dashed in a way. They're still in though. And to Argentina fans, that was a lift to the Argentina. So now let's talk about the Nigerian game. What is it? What did they do differently from the other games that they played? So for the first game they played, what did they do differently that make them to beat Iceland, a team that was able to get a draw against Argentina?
I think for me, first half is like they still repeated the same thing that they did in the first match. So because they still play the coaches still play some players out of position.
Yeah.
The likes of Ahmed Musa. So he played out of position
But
in the first half.
off, though.
But when it comes to second half, he switched to the left side where he's confident about. So that's why he could come from this side to score the goal. But from him to come from the right to the left is always difficult for him. But in the second half, he has to switch to the left side. Then that makes it comfortable for him. So I think what they did more in the second match more, they play as a team, and the likes of Moses were withdrawn back to their normal position.
Like we said here.
Yes, and Mikel also was withdrew to, especially in that second half. So Mikel now have the more chances to relax, hold the ball, and then distribute the ball to other opponents. So I think if they keep the performances, like I always say, African is different from European players.
Yeah,
that's
we
expect them to do the same thing, but if you play an European player out of position, it might still give you some result. But if you play an African player out of position,
well, we said here on this show a lot of times about the Nigerian national team and why, and they're not just Nigeria, the African players, that when they come to the national team, they want to be the hero, you know. But on that day, we saw that they worked together as a team. Because the likes of Mike, we did not see much of Mike, which I told you before that we only saw, he played very well. The work rate was there, but then we did not see him trying to be the hero, trying to take the free kicks, trying to be seen everywhere. So he was played in his right position, and we saw the result. We saw Victor Moses also was drafted back to where we know him playing for Chelsea, and he was able to play very well. And the entire team, the performance was a fantastic performance from the entire team, and we're happy about it. So from that game, I know we're going to talk about Argentina versus Nigeria, but from that game, do you think they displayed what they displayed on that day? They did play like a team that, to you feel these guys are going to go further in the tournament?
Yeah, with the performance, like as I will say, with the performance in second half, yes, they can go further in this tournament with that. And I'm still saying, I wish against Argentina if the coach can play Musa and Igalo instead of Musa and Iheanacho, or instead of Musa and Iwobi, because I can't see combination between
when you
them
talk about
throughout the 90
when you talk
minutes.
about Iwobi, I have my reservations though, because Iwobi is a good player, no doubt. But when you talk about the physicality of the game, he might not be up to it. Iheanacho, we did not see him very well. I agree with you. Igalo might play because of his appearance, but Iwobi is a very good player who cannot be able to disturb the defenders in a way that somebody like Iheanacho will disturb them. Iheanacho might not have that might not have that experience when it comes to scoring a lot of goals like Musa or Igalo, but at least his physical appearance is what matters in a game.
His physical appearance matters, but when you play two strikers up front and they can't link up with themselves, so there's no point. You could see that the passes came from wings, from the midfield to
so it
Mohamed
was more Musa doing the striking work.
Doing the wings work, and the same thing. So I believe against Argentina, if we are going to have a chance, Igalo with his physical strength,
and,
so he can.
And another player that impressed me so much on that day is Tyrone Eboehi, making his World Cup debut for Nigeria, and he played very well. You see the defense. We spoke here. We analyzed the team, where the weakness were and the strength was in that team, and if he can be able to use the formation that wanted him to use, and he used it. And you see the result. The likes of Meru came in, and you saw the different Super Eagles. They were able to defend, attack together, and midfield they were able to. First half, they played badly, but then second half they picked up and they were able to get the 3 points that they needed. Anyway, let's talk about Brazil and Costa Rica. Brazil played 90 minutes draw with Costa Rica. Until the extra time, they won 2-0.
Yeah, I think we spoke about this a lot on this show, whereby we spoke about last minute, lose of focus. I think we've seen more of that in this tournament.
That's
so
true.
Player tends to lose their focus in the last minute. Maybe you defend for 90 minutes. How can you now lose your possession in just 2 minutes to go and 3 minutes to go?
One positive thing I saw in that game was the VAR. I criticized VAR a lot, but in that match I saw a lot of positivity because the penalty that the Neymar, that's one thing I don't like. I'm sorry to say, but Neymar is a player that, to me, I feel he should start playing while on his feet rather than falling all the time, And he felt on that match he wanted to deceive the referee. The referee actually gave the penalty, but the VAR decided it wasn't a penalty, And
I think the VAR has not really done a special thing compared to what normal human being would have done, because in some matches they gave, in some matches they did not give.
They did not, but then on that match, let's talk
so
about that particular match, because on that match, it was a match where without the VAR, those guys were going, they were going to go like one down before even the other two goals would come. We never knew. That was going to be the deciding goal. We did not know that. But then the VAR was able to get that right for me. Was that the right decision for you?
It's a credit for that.
Okay, all right. Then let's move to Serbia also and Switzerland, because they also, we saw Shaqiri scoring that solo goal. It was like 9 minutes, like we said. You defend very well. In this tournament, we've seen it a lot. They defend very well when it gets to 90 minutes. Then they just lose focus. And the same thing happened to them. And Serbia were able to pay for that costly mistake and that lack of focus. And at the end of the day, Switzerland got 4 points. And that group is also still open.
Still open,
because Switzerland have 4 points, Serbia have 3 points, Brazil have 3 points.
Yeah, it's still open.
So if Serbia can beat Brazil, and Switzerland can beat Costa Rica, they can beat Costa Rica, yes, I believe.
Costa Rica also have 4 points. 3 points.
No, Costa Rica. No, it's Brazil drew first match. Serbia beat Costa Rica.
Okay.
So it's like Costa Rica is being beaten by everybody so far in the group. So if they all of them win, if Brazil can get a draw, Brazil will get 4 points. Serbia will also get 4 points. Switzerland have 4 already. Switzerland can also draw. They will get 5. So the group is still open. It's still open for anybody to
out
advance.
Of the 3 of them. So
anyway, that's the beauty of the game. We're still seeing a lot of chances to teams that we believe can still progress in this tournament. Now let's talk about Belgium and Tunisia. It was expected.
From the beginning, I told you that Tunisia has no chance in this tournament. I said so. From the first interview, I said Tunisia, I didn't see Tunisia having any
chance
in that group, of progressing in that group.
But one good thing is, and another thing that a lot of people need to look at, it's just that the teams that are not studying these so-called big teams. Because if you look at them, they score a lot of goals, but then they concede.
They concede, yeah.
If you can be able to defend against them and score, I'm sure you'll be able to get 3 points. Like what Croatia did against Argentina.
Croatia, for me, if you are talking about big team in this tournament, Croatia should be one of them.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just saying, if you can be able to defend very well, like the Belgium side that played Tunisia. Tunisia were able to get 2 goals against Belgium. Though Belgium outscored them, they outscored them. They scored 5 goals, but you can see that for Tunisia to get 2 goals in that game, that shows that if Tunisia defended very well, they were going to score Belgium, even get a draw or even win.
Yeah, it's still part of what we spoke about. You see, Belgium could only concede that goal later, towards the end of the match, after they've already realized that, we've already won the game. So they lose the focus at that time. So they just feel like, 4 goals down or 5 goals, so we don't need to really push ourselves. The worst, they can score 1 or 2. So
yeah, that's true though. Like, let's talk about one game that stood out for me that I want us to talk about. It's a game that is a dramatic win for the German side. It's a game that I did not believe that Germany will even get. On paper, before the game started, we all believed that Germany were going to get 3 points.
Yes.
Because we calculated it. We said Germany is going to get 3 points against Sweden, get 3 points against South Korea, then they were advanced. Yes. But then going into that game, it was a different ball game. The Swedish side scored first, and when they scored, they defended very well. They defended very well, and the German got a red card, Boateng getting a red card, and then something happened.
Yeah, that match, for me, I will blame the loss on Val. Because Sweden could have gone 2 goals ahead
of Germany.
Ahead of Germany, and it would have been difficult for Germany to come back from that match, because there's a penalty from their striker. There's a push from Boateng before even the red card that the referee just overlooked, and the VAR also overlooked it, and which is a pure penalty for me. So if they have been given that penalty, I believe they would have beaten Germany. And I think they learned from what Mexico did to Germany as well. They played the same pattern that Mexico also played. Put 2 strikers off front, defend. Germany very well, they will always make a mistake while they are passing the ball around, counter on that mistake.
In this Russia, we've seen a lot. We've seen a lot of performance that you have to credit the so-called small teams with the way they play, be able to play against the bigger teams. Like the German side on that day. That game was a game that, for me, the defending was too poor.
It's too poor, yeah.
Boateng, as an experienced defender as he is, for him to be able to defend the way he defends so recklessly against the Swedish
that
side.
game against Sweden, I can't blame Boateng for it, because one thing that I wanted to
but the second yellow card was not a yellow card. An experienced defender
his art is wrong, but when we talk about the defending part, so you could see that when they are attacking, they leave Boateng and this Rüdiger at the back, 2 players at the back against 2 of Sweden. And if you look at the gap between the 2 of them, there's a lot of gap for those Sweden strikers to penetrate from. So, and when they attack, people were going, so any mistake that they make, collecting that ball, what Sweden do is throw it to those 2, and 2 against 2. For you to cover the gap between the 2 of them is always difficult for a player. And when you rush down to defend, you are bound to make mistakes. Because you are going there with your strength to cover up for somebody else.
But you know what, Germany gambled and they paid off, because they had nothing to lose. Yeah. They were 1 man down. They know, okay, this is, if they beat us or we beat them. That is the only thing that will make us stay in the competition.
But Germany still need, I don't know why Germany still keep on retaining Wagner to be their striker. I believe they're supposed to be a switch from Muller to that guy.
If Thomas Muller can go. The coach, to me, he made so many mistakes. Sane Wan was supposed to be in this tournament, because he's also a player who can take on defenders one-on-one. You need such players who can bring that threat to defenders, and who can be a threat to defenders. And he dropped him, for players like you just mentioned. I mean, that wasn't the right decision. But then here he is a coach, the World Cup winner, So, I mean, any decision for him
because he has been using Thomas Muller for many years now, and he has been giving him results. Because Thomas Muller is somebody who can capitalize on space behind this little space between the defenders. So his experience, so he has his quality to score goals from any angle.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I can't see why you have to drop such a player to a right winger and then play a new player as a striker. So I think they are still lacking in that striking force. Their midfield are doing well. So it's just only their defending and their striking force.
Anyway, let's talk about another game that was expected. We expected a result before the match was played, even though the score wasn't what we were expecting. England beating Panama 6-1. And Harry Kane now is the highest goal scorer in the tournament so far with 5 goals against Panama.
Yeah, for me, off camera I was discussing with someone and the person told me one thing: don't judge England's team yet, because they've not really played against a stronger team. Yeah. But I believe, I'm still saying, I don't know why the likes of Lingard will still be starting ahead of Rashford.
No, but then it was a game that I mean, any selection was going to win that game.
We were going to win the match. So
because
I
Panama,
understand.
it's a team that, I mean,
because he has the coach has showed us, Southgate has showed us that that's his first 11, because he used them the first match. He used the same formation in the second match. So that means in the third match, because they've qualified, and they can now introduce other people to play. But I still believe the likes of the experience of Rashford will have paid off. Rashford or Vardy.
Vardy.
So they still have a lot of quality players on the bench as well that can still make. So let's see, round 16.
All right.
So,
now let's talk about another group that we're also having hope for, and it's a very tight group at the moment. We'll talk about Group H, which is a group comprises of Japan, Senegal, Poland, and Colombia. And we've seen that Senegal won their first match against Poland 2-1. They drew the second one yesterday against Japan 2-2. Colombia lost their first match against Japan 2-1. They won yesterday 3-0. Now is a very tight group because Japan now have 4 points. Senegal have 4 points. Colombia have 3 points. And the final game is Senegal against Colombia. It's a do or die for 2 teams. Colombia win, they advance. Senegal draw or win, they advance, just like Nigeria and Argentina. Then you have a Japan side that they're playing against a Polish side that, I mean, everybody's beating them in the group. So we never know. We're just saying everybody's beating the Polish side in the group. Again, what you have been saying in this tournament. You have been saying it. No, you've been saying it to a lot of teams that when it gets to the, how can you be leading twice and you cannot be able to defend your lead and get 3 points and then finish the job?
I was actually surprised yesterday when Senegal drew that match, because I believe if it has been left with an European team after leading 2-1 and then 87 minutes, you're supposed to come back.
Yeah, I mean,
defend what you have.
Yes.
Protect your goals. Withdraw all your midfielder, let them support the defense, and then forget about attacking. 87 minutes, just 3 minutes for the match to end.
Yeah.
So you don't need much. You see most of the European team, that's when they keep possession, pass the ball around. They're not focused about scoring anymore in that 2-1 already, because you have your lead already. So, but for African, for me, they've been lacking in this game. Because it happens to Egypt, it happens to Morocco, it happens to Nigerian, so it happens to Senegal. So I don't think we still really need to work on that.
It's a very tough thing. I mean, now they put themselves in a precarious situation, because at the end of the day, they need to play against a Colombian side that, trust me, is not a pushover team. It's a team well experienced. It's a team with quality players. And yesterday they proved that. You know, so now if, I don't know, defend. You don't have to, they are taking it for granted. They are taking it for granted. Now it is the same situation Nigeria is in. The same situation is what Senegal found themselves in. Because if I don't know, man. I don't know. I was very upset, like you said. I expected them to get a 3 points.
Yeah.
First, when they were leading, I was expecting them to at least defend till halftime. You come back, you'll be able to rectify the mistakes of the first half, and then you'll be able to hold on to.
And I believe maybe, though they have experienced players in the team who plays in different clubs in Europe, but for me, their defense, I think they lack leadership. That their defense,
the organization
is not there, because if they have proper organization, I believe they could have defend that goal.
So tell me about this group H. Who do you see? Do you see Senegal qualifying from this group?
Yes, I see them qualify.
Well, I would say to you without sentiment that I don't see, only if Japan fail to beat Poland. If Poland can beat Japan, then Senegal stand a chance of qualifying. If not, I don't see Senegal beating Colombia.
Senegal, like I said, if Senegal can explore their attack force and their midfield against Colombia, they can. So they are strong. They are striker where you give them space.
The likes of
they can punish you. So there's something like Guardado. If you give him space, he can utilize it and punish you. So Senegal has to play their 4-man defense against them, and then now use their own attacking force. I would prefer their coach to use maybe something like 4-4-3, 4-3-3. So let their push forward to counter their defense, because I don't see Colombia defense.
I think they are too complacent. I think it's what happened to the Senegalese side. They came into that match believing that we got the 3 points already without playing the game. And then when they started, they scored the goal. Then that was a confirmation of their belief that, okay, we're going to win the game. And then Japan equalized. Then they score again. Then they relax that, okay, it's ours. You know, then at the end of the day, Honda came in and surprised them and scored that equalizing goal in 78 minutes. But then, I mean, because they stood a chance of advancing to the next round, they were supposed to beat Japan. Let the game be done then. Whatever it is that comes between Colombia and them, it's nothing.
But don't let us forget that the same Japan beat Colombia.
Yeah,
so that means they also have a stronger team.
But then, I mean, they have an advantage. They had an advantage. They had an advantage twice. If they were coming from behind to draw, then it's a different ball game. We'll be talking about something different. But this is a game that they were leading. Twice they were in front. Then coming back to draw at the end of the day.
Their coaches, I'm speaking on behalf of Nigeria and any other team, need to speak to them. Maybe that time you need to do whatever you need to do. If you need to make a change to make your defense solid, then do it. If you need to reshuffle players to defend, then do it.
All right. This is the World Cup special. We're still talking about everything coming in Russia 2018. We're talking about all actions that are taking place, the controversial decisions, the opportunities that are being missed, the opportunities that are being utilized. And then there's another story that I want us to talk about briefly. I want us to talk about now the Argentina players are being given the right hand to go ahead and do their selection. That is the stories that are coming up.
So players should do their selection.
Anyway, these are speculations. We don't know how true these stories are, but this is what we heard coming from the Argentina camp.
And they're always going to do the selection.
That the players had the upper hand now to do their selection, because the players complained after their game against Croatia that the selection of the coach was something they were not happy about. Okay. And a lot of players were complaining that the likes of Mascherano are not supposed to be in the midfield because he is tired. That's why he went to China. And then they have other players, the likes of Eva Banega, being on the bench. The players who can hold the ball, who are also young and energetic. You know. Now, what do you think about this story?
If the story is true, then I will need to know who is going to do the selection. Because now, if we leave the team for Messi to choose, then that means he's going to choose his favorite, right?
Yeah.
Who we believe he can play with. But as for coach know who has the strength, the quality to choose. So I'm not sure it's going to be true.
You know, because the press conference, Mascherano came out, Perez also came out, and then the president of Argentina football. We did not see the coach. Okay. You know, so that is just to confirm our story
they can leave it for the assistant to make the decision. But for a particular player to say, I want this and this in my team, I want this. So that means does it mean that a single player has power over other players?
No, because the thing is the players are big players, and now the government, the football, I mean the FA of Argentina is asking them, what is the problem? Why are you guys performing so poor why your performance has been so poor in the World Cup? And they came up with, is the selection of the coach. The coach is the problem, and I'm just telling you now based on what we're getting from the media. Now they are saying the problem is the coach, the selection of the coach. We want this coach gone before the World Cup tournament is over. And then the FA said, no, the coach can only leave after the tournament. We don't want to bring more media, even more distraction to the team that is participating in the World Cup, you know.
Yeah, I think, okay, if the decision has to be for the team, that means the captain, not just players should do their selection. I think it's going to be maybe the captain should select is the selection, not the team, not the player. Because if this player, I as number 2, Aguero will have his own personal person that want to be there. Then Mascherano has his own, Messi has his own, so there will not be any conclusion if the decision is left for the players to do.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm thinking it cannot be the player. Maybe the captain, which is Messi, or the assistant, or the coach, so then it's fine.
Anyway, in this World Cup, like we say it here on the show a lot of times, we've seen a whole lot of things happening in this World Cup. We've seen a lot of records being broken. We've seen a lot of records being set in this World Cup. So anything is possible. Prior to the day to the World Cup, we saw how the Spanish coach was fired because he took a job with the Real Madrid without the consent of the FA, the Spanish FA. Anyway, thank you so much, Simeon. We'll be here again tomorrow talking about Nigerian game and everything that is coming on our screens tomorrow. And to the viewers out there, I want to say a very big thank you for watching this program, our World Cup special, here where we say we're going to be bringing to you every opportunity missed, every opportunity utilized. We're going to be bringing everything that is happening in Russia. And tomorrow on this station, we're going to be bringing to you what is going to happen in Nigeria, in Russia. We'll be analyzing that match before the match takes place. And then after the match, the following day, we're going to be bringing the result. Being it good, bad, we'll be here. That is our job, to bring the bad news and the good news also in this tournament. We're bringing everything football to you. And everything that is happening in Russia might not be going the way you want it to go, but then, hey, it's soccer. Don't kill yourself because of soccer. It's entertainment. We're just being entertained. So tomorrow we're bringing everything about everything that's happening in Russia to you. Thank you so much for watching. My name remains Emmanuel Akurada. See you tomorrow. Have a good evening.